What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Little Kings, a very, very special episode. A big happy birthday to my buddy NoMercyMerc. Woo! I'm Ryan, aka Penguin Monster.
And I'm Ryan, aka NoMercyMerc. On this episode, we cover Shroud making his big return home to Twitch, our Discord discussion of the week, how we determine our content. Do we do it for ourselves, our viewers, or to produce additional content? And a big congrats to TimTheTatMan for his first Fall Guys victory.
Way to get that crown, buddy. Hey, it's a celebration episode. If you're of age, pop open a cold one. If not, maybe grab a juice box. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
And it's a birthday podcast.
Wait, whose birthday?
Oh, the good old NoMercyMerc.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, Boomer Merc. What are you, 50?
Yeah, going on 50. 49 to 50. It's a big transition year for me.
Rough. How's your back doing?
I have issues here and there.
Yeah, it's from carrying me through all those Valorant games.
Not lately. I haven't been playing my best, but that's fine. That's fine.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going really, really well.
Yeah, we're a few claws in.
Few claws in.
Should be a nice and loose one.
What?
Let's glance over that.
Okay, yeah. I'm loosey goosey.
All right, good. I'm glad. It'll be a natural flow of conversation then. Yeah, for anybody listening on audio, he's winking at me. It seems more like a Twitch, though.
Wait, speaking of Twitch. No.
Oh, look at that.
This transition's on fire.
I mean, speaking of Twitch, Shroud's back.
Shroud is back.
He's home.
Shroud's back. He's home. He's home. Oh my gosh, I'm so relieved to see him in his natural habitat again.
To me, he just seems comfortable. Like, this seems like the right move for him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad for him.
He didn't stream for 45 days.
That had to be just either the best or the worst.
He said it was the best vacation.
It was
ever.
probably the best. I mean, once you get that bag from Mixer, do you really have any worries?
True. I mean, there were talks of him buying his own island or something. I don't know.
Wasn't
there
that
were all
Mr.
sorts
Beast?
of rumors going on.
Mr. Beast just bought an island. Yeah,
he did do that. But there were talks of Shroud buying like a $7 million island or something. I don't know.
Oh wow,
it was rumors.
Streaming island. That'd be kind of cool.
But like, he's king of trolls right now, so he even brought it up and he was saying like, "Oh yeah,
sure,
he bought that thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I bet the internet wouldn't be very good on your own remote island.
I mean, with how much money he has,
that's true.
He could probably get it done.
Bring those fiber cables underneath the ocean.
There's Starlink. Maybe he's got
true.
a connection with the Elon Musk.
Yeah, that just launched not long ago. Although I saw the speed was, the speed for it being a satellite or whatever the fuck it is pretty good. But
yeah.
For streaming it wouldn't be the greatest.
Right. If it were that speed consistently around the entire world, I probably wouldn't complain. Especially if it were to be treated as like a mobile Wi-Fi kind of thing outside your house. It's pretty good.
For sure.
We're going like all over the place right from the get-go.
What do you expect? We're like 4 claws in. Yeah.
This is what claws do. Okay, so Shroud.
Yes.
Shroud's back. His initial stream peaked at like how many freaking viewers?
It was over 500K.
That's insane.
Yeah.
500,000 people.
But is it insane for Shroud? Did you not expect those kinds of numbers, especially with what happened with Doc?
So I didn't expect him to surpass Doc's 511 or whatever it was.
I think it
wasn't like
right,
a huge surpass.
Yeah, they were right around the same.
It was close, but I would like Doc's was controversy. Like, you expect people to like file in line for controversy.
Right, there's much more of a spectacle around Doc, whereas Shroud, it's just like a normal person turning on a camera and saying, "What's up? I'm gonna play some video games."
Yep.
Which is what you kind of love about him, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why he's my favorite. I mean, he had technical difficulties right there at the get-go, and I
His
was like,
sound
this
didn't
is
play.
true Shroud fashion.
Yeah, yeah,
He had his starting soon screen for like an hour and a half or something wild. It was awesome.
yeah.
It was
But
awesome.
he's still great at Valorant.
So, speaking of Shroud, he's announced that he is trying to venture into the IRL streaming space. Have you heard this?
I did see. I haven't heard much about it. I did see he was playing some board games the other night.
He was playing board games, which is like so out of his element. Like it seems so wild to see like him sitting at a normal dining room table just playing board games with his friends. Like it was wild to
Yeah.
see.
What kind
It,
of did you watch that stream?
I watched like some of it. They had just transitioned to a new game. I had no idea what game they played the first time, and I had no idea the game that they were playing the second time.
Oh, interesting. What kind of interaction was there with that?
It was kind of botched. Like the audio was the video was
Hmm.
like it was just it seemed like a spur of the moment kind of thing,
Yeah.
which like I can kind of appreciate that too, of like he just wanted to stream and not make it perfect and just give people a glimpse into his normal life.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, he probably just wants to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know when he says IRL, I don't know if that means legitimately like going for a walk down the street, like going. Oh my god, I
What
don't know
was
if you guys just
that?
heard that, but that was some crazy thunder that just shook my entire house. Um, but I don't know if he's gonna be walking down the street and be like, whatever that one guy's name is, the
Ice
Jake
Poseidon.
Ice Poseidon, or like there's that Jake Live, whatever his name is. But like I just don't picture Shroud doing like true IRL.
I picture Shroud as kind of an awkward person in real
Oh
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I kind of love that idea. I think those interactions would be hilarious to see.
I mean the thing is like I don't think we've seen enough of his personality, like his true personality.
Yeah.
Like everyone kind of puts on a persona whenever they're streaming. Even if you don't intend to. Like you're still
Sure.
somewhat pretending, acting, whatever. But some more than others.
Right. There's some people that put on a complete character, and then I think at the very least it's usually an exaggeration of your true personality.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Shroud is, like we said, kind of one of those few people that I think doesn't really over exaggerate much. It kind of seems like what you see is what you get with Shroud. But
That's true.
yeah.
So I wanted to get more of your take on IRL streaming in general. Because
Okay.
like I just yesterday did my first cooking stream
Right.
on Twitch. And like do you have any plans to do IRL? Do you think IRL's like a thing for the future with this whole pandemic thing whenever that lifts or whatnot?
Yeah, I don't know for me personally. I think it's more the logistical challenges of it that get me right away. I would have no issues doing a cooking stream or something like that, but I also don't know how interesting that would be for viewers without really thinking of a setup and that kind of stuff. But I mean, I like it. I like some of my favorite streams are not so much IRL in terms of like other settings and things like that, but when people are hanging out and just chatting and just like interacting with viewers or like watching videos on YouTube or things like that, where it's really more of just their kind of personality coming out versus reactions around things that happen in a game type of thing. But yeah, I mean, I could see that becoming more and more popular. I already think just chatting is one of the biggest sections on Twitch all the time. So there's clearly, some kind of want for that.
Right.
So what about you?
Cool. I mean, I actually love like the IRL section of like doing something kind of abnormal and against like your normal sit down in front of a computer kind of thing.
Hmm.
I don't know. I have so much fun whenever I just go live on my phone. Like it's kind of just completely different.
Yeah.
And it brings in a whole different crowd. It gets people to see like a different section of like my house or like it's just new and exciting, I think.
Yeah.
Just to change it up.
I could see that for sure. Like if you have consistent viewers that are used to the one angle and one side of you, that would be exciting for them to just see, even though it's your same house, it's a different aspect of your life and a different type of interaction.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with the history of Twitch, like there used to be the true IRL section, which meant out in real life, not just chatting, like sitting at a computer looking at things. But then there was people like Ice Poseidon or other people like that who kind of took it a little bit too far in terms of Twitch's views. And actually, they were huge at the time. But it was like pulling pranks on people or just being like completely over the top personality wise in real life to see people's reactions. And I think that got Twitch into a little bit of hot water, and they didn't really want the site to go too much that way. So then they kind of dialed it back a little bit, and they made the just chatting section, which combined the not playing video games, but still just kind of chilling at a desk and the going out type of thing. And so there wasn't so much views just on people out in the world doing crazy stuff.
Interesting. I didn't know that history aspect. So that's great. I know that the section that I did my cooking in was food and drink, which is its own section.
That makes sense.
Outside of just chatting. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think there's food and drink, but does that get rolled up under just chatting, or it's completely separate?
It's completely separate.
Okay. Because there's also I was looking, because of my Explorer streams are obviously not straight up gaming. There is like a science and technology section, I believe, where people will do like, some people will just show themselves doing software development. They'll be like building a game or building an app or something like that and letting people watch and interact with them while they do that. And they'll throw it under there versus the normal just chatting. So I've considered that for the Exploring streams, but I also don't want to be too limited in, like, obviously there's no kind of regulations in terms of the category, but I don't want people to come expecting, just straight up science when somebody chats in, for example, we were looking up Dr. Phil memes like for 10 minutes one time. Like, so obviously that's not under science and technology. So I wanted that freedom to kind of go in and out of those different avenues.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's all kinds of smaller just chatting sections, I feel like. But like if you want the most freedom, you should probably just lump it into just chatting. But you have the same problem with other games that are really popular in that it's super saturated, so it's harder to find you as a kind of a smaller streamer.
So this reminds me of a huge controversy that happened in the online chess playing on Twitch. Is that one of the number one online chess players was actually playing constantly under the just chatting category.
Oh, I did hear about this. This is like maybe a month ago or so, something like that.
Yeah. And so the whole chess section of Twitch, they were kind of they disliked this person doing this because they felt as though it was taking away viewership from the category as a whole.
Yeah.
And basically like disrespecting that category of Twitch by not bringing new viewers.
Was Harris Heller talking about this? How did I also hear about this? I feel like he did a video on this.
I think I saw like an XQC video or something. It was when that
Yeah.
big tournament was going on that XQC got out in like 3 moves or something
Yeah.
stupid. Like,
Yeah. Well, I guess, how do you feel about that? Because to me, it's like, yes, I understand, maybe the chess players feel like they're a part of a community and they're all trying to kind of move up in the world together. But at the same time, I feel like you are an individual person, you're an individual streamer. I feel like you should have the freedom to do whatever you want in terms of your own content. And if you're making it successful and you're finding luck in just chatting, why would you limit yourself to the chess section just because some other streamers feel like it's not bringing the viewership towards them? Like, I know, like, it is kind of this happy feely thing with a lot of Twitch streamers. We're all a part of the same community, which is kind of true. But at the same time, like, I'd want you to be able to succeed regardless of, my ability, type of thing. Like, you're still your own person putting out your own content. You should have the freedom to do with whatever you want with it.
yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you in that aspect, but at the same time, like, I think it also depends on how the person is playing the game. So if you're talking about like Magnus, the #1 chess player in the world playing a chess game on Twitch, I would expect him to be in the chess section because people are interested in watching like good, solid chess play. But like XQC, like, you tune in for his personality.
Right.
So like he's going to be talking to chat, interacting with chat a little bit more. So I could see him falling under the just chatting section easier and it being more acceptable.
Yeah, so I think that makes inherent sense to me. Like, that makes sense in terms of the categorization of things. But say you take, and I actually don't, I'm not really interested in chess much at all, so I don't know who Magnus is, but I'll take your word for it. I apologize.
All right.
So say he's the top person of the chess section, right? It's a he.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So you take Magnus, who's the top person in the chess section, however many viewers that begets, I have no idea. If he moves to just chatting, he's going to have a ton of viewership that follows him along. And then he's going to be at a decent position in just chatting and have a ton more visibility and discovery than he would in the chess section, because people will be scrolling and just chatting that have no real interest in chess to begin with and click on him.
Or does that like hinder you in viewership because they're like, what the hell are you doing in this section? Like, get out. I'm not going to click on you. Go to your section. You're in the wrong place.
Maybe it does. Yeah, maybe it does. I don't feel like it does, but I feel like Magnus should have the freedom to try that and can be wherever he wants to put his stream.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's clear, like, I guess just chatting is kind of the weird one with that, because when you play a video game, you put the video game. So you'll be in that section. Whereas if you are in just chatting, you could be doing any multitude of different things. Whereas, because I don't like if you're in the Fall Guys category, but you're playing Valorant. That to me makes no sense.
Okay.
But just chatting feels like kind of a free place where there might be kind of anything.
Huh. Fair point. I agree. I agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
It's a more generalized, like a general section. Like, especially since they lumped, like, I feel like a few broad categories into one.
Right.
In just chatting.
Which I think is why it's the biggest category all the time. Yeah.
I love just chatting streams. I do.
They're great.
My favorite, honestly.
They're great. Yeah, that actually,
like doing them and watching them. Like, they're the most enjoyable to me.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, Splorin streams have been so much fun to me. So that actually leads into a Discord submitted question by our good buddy John, who has submitted a whole multitude of topics on Discord. But yeah, if you didn't know, it's linked down below. You could join our Discord. Let us know what you want to hear. But basically, John asked this week how we personally determine what we want our content to be. So, he thought basically we must look at something like what the viewers want, what we want, and what we think would be successful. And how do we kind of figure that out and determine what we want to play or do? Do you want to take a stab at it?
It's such a tough question.
It is.
Because, like, there are different parts of me that want different things. So it's like, obviously, I want to enjoy streaming myself. So I want to do what I want to do because I think I'll enjoy it and create the most entertainment factor by doing something that I actually want to do.
Right.
So it's like, in that part, I don't care what the viewers really want, or even in terms of like producing content for YouTube or Twitter or whatnot.
Sure.
Like there's part of me that's like that. But then there's also part of me that like more followers are good. Like
right.
More followers, more subs, like the more people that tune in, the better. So you wanna gear towards your viewers. Like it's such a hard balance game of like when to play what you want and when to gear towards your viewers. I'm not answering the question at all. I'm kind of just dancing around it because there's really no solid answer, at least for me, because I'm a people pleaser. I'll be honest. I want to make myself happy, but I also want to provide entertainment for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like for instance, I wanted to play Valorant the other night. All the chat wanted to play Fall Guys. I went and played Fall Guys. Like I got pressured into it.
Right.
Did I have fun doing it? Totally. But it's not what I like wanted to do in the moment.
Right.
What's your take on it? I didn't answer.
No, I know. I get that it's a difficult question. I think with what you first touched on, which is you, of course, want to do what you want to do. There's certainly that for me to a point. But at the same time, I'm streaming for a reason. Like if I just want to play the video game I want to play, I could do that off stream and like I could not be a streamer. Right. So, I don't care about being like the biggest streamer in the world type of thing, but I do like to develop a bit of a community. And my best part about streaming, I think, is really the interaction with the people in chat. So as I gain more followers and as more people view, the chat interaction just gets better and better. And that's the most fun thing to me. That might have not been a sentence, but you get the point. So I view it like, and really John hit the nail on the head with the question. There's like 3 circles that all form a Venn diagram, which is what I want to do and what I have ideas to do, what the people who are viewing want to see, and then what is really, and that's like my current viewers, right? That I know and I have kind of a community with. And then what I think would be quote unquote successful, meaning like new discovery and things like that. And like a lot of the time you don't meet the perfect center of that Venn diagram. A lot of the time it's overlapping between 2 of those circles out of the 3. But lately I think that perfect center has been Fall Guys.
Boo. What happened?
Because I have just been having so much fun with that game. Viewers tend to love seeing that game. And also, oh my God, it's been so popular. But yeah, I think, and John also added in, what is the difference, do you think, when you're a smaller streamer like us versus, one of the bigger streamers? And what makes a stream kind of objectively successful? Which I think bigger streamers generally have more freedom because they already have kind of a big following. But at the same time, they also have further to the fall, right? So, and they can kind of get pigeonholed if they are not known as a big variety streamer that jumps from the game to game. Because if they get a huge following around, I don't know, Warzone, for example, sometimes it can get hard for them to jump to another game once they don't really feel like playing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think we talked about like the popularity of games and whether or not like trends should kind of guide the gameplay that you play just because it's popular.
Right.
I think you were saying that Fall Guys content is like booming right now
Huge.
on like not just Twitch, but like literally everywhere.
Yeah.
It is just spiking. And like in my mind, it's like I don't want to produce that content because it's probably oversaturated. Like I'll probably just get buried under everyone else who's above me, and with more people comes more competition and tougher to grow. And like literally in my eyes,
because you're a smaller streamer.
right. If you were mid-tier streamer, you can jump on trends easily. I should say more easily.
Sure.
Easily, more easily, right? I don't know words. Whatever. You can do it more easily because you already have a base following,
right,
to boost you up to get you potentially into that like popular viewing section area thing. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense. But like literally as a smaller streamer, I think the best way to grow would be in like a very niche way. Like play a very obscure game that like there are people who view it, but there's not a lot of people who stream it. Like I was telling you, my two most viewed streams were playing Anthem and Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Right.
Both those games had less than like 1,000 viewers.
And do you have
10 people streaming it?
Yeah. Do you have any idea? Because I feel like you might run into the issue there of getting a bit pigeonholed, where the viewers of those games probably are very much obsessed with those specific games. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be there. So do you have any idea if the viewers you may have gained from, or followers, if you gain followers from those sections, have they translated over to other things? I know you probably have not a huge sample size, but I was just wondering if you saw any of that.
I definitely don't think I know enough of whether or not they've transitioned into viewers. I personally have not seen their names again in chat.
Okay.
Basically, if that's what you're asking. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But they're still followers, and it kind of helps.
Sure.
In like validity of your work and stuff, I guess. I don't know. At one point, they were interested enough to hit the follow button, which means something to other people who tune in.
Right.
Too. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess, I mean, I think there's probably some kind of happy medium between those. I tend to like the more popular things. Like I was having, well, and it's not necessarily just because it's popular. Like for some reason, Fall Guys really just latched onto me. It came out of nowhere. I am obsessed with that game right now, and it just happens to be super popular. My streams have been fairly successful for my streams with Fall Guys. And like I've hopped on hosting, slightly bigger creators than me, and then I would get some followers from that. But I think it is tough in terms of discoverability because it's so saturated. Really, I think the only way to get kind of a huge jump if you're playing in that same category would be to get super, super lucky. It's like hitting the lottery where a big streamer hosts you when they go offline. But that's like never going to happen. You can, it's like hitting the lottery for that. but with the smaller ones, I almost wonder if that's a little bit like how Mixer was, where you felt like as a smaller streamer, you were getting a little bit more successful because it was a smaller pond. When you're playing these games that don't have so many viewers, but I just wonder how that'll end up being long term.
Yeah, I don't know. I think even those random follows that you get playing those niche games, it's like there's still a slight chance that they go onto Twitch that day while you're live and they see you on their left-hand side and they click on you. They rediscover you playing a new game and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I remember this guy. Like he was great. I loved his personality. I'm going to stick around. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to become a part of his community." Like there's still that slight chance. So
Yeah.
I think it's beneficial to stream niche games every once in a while, especially if you enjoy them. That's the biggest part. Of
That's
like,
a huge
don't
thing.
don't just go play niche games to like grow. Like that's not what you should do.
Well, I think so. We talked about like kind of or maybe I just mentioned the Venn diagram there. I think the most important one is what you as a streamer want to do. Obviously, everything's important in the whole pie, but I think viewers can tell if you're not genuinely liking something. And a lot of the time, that is a turnoff to new people or even your existing followers. So I think that's the most important one. You can always try out something. If it's your first time playing it, you don't know. But I wouldn't necessarily just keep grinding out something if you're not truly enjoying it yourself. Unless it's like, I don't know, you somehow pop off and it's like clearly skyrocketing your success and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to stick with it for, a very short period of time because I'm just gaining so much traction. And then hopefully I'll try to transition those people over somewhere else that I actually enjoy.
Totally.
But in general, it's probably better to just play what you like.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So I think John had actually asked me this question on stream, something similar.
Okay.
Where like, do I play certain things to produce content for YouTube, or do I actually do it for the stream?
Oh yeah, we were talking about this a little bit together this week too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So do you do anything specifically on stream to turn it more into external content, or are you just streaming?
Well, and like, I mean, we should caveat all this with like, we have not found the path yet, really. Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you're definitely more successful than I am right now. But both of us are kind of obviously just starting out. Like, we're not anywhere huge. So I don't know if our advice would be the best given. But for me personally, I think of stream first and just like what the live content is going to be like, because that's the most fun part to me. Because it kind of going back to what you should do, what you enjoy. But, and the same thing with like the whole Venn diagram is like, there's going to be some things that maybe I enjoy equally, but I know like this might perform better on Twitch or YouTube or something like that. And so I'll obviously pick that one over the one that I would enjoy just as much, but I don't think would be as successful. But I think we were talking about this earlier this week, just kind of texting each other back and forth about Fall Guys versus Valorant, which you had said you thought Valorant would give you more YouTube content and more edited content versus Fall Guys, which we kind of just agreed to disagree about, because I thought, Fall Guys content, yes, it is kind of similar situations and similar reactions. But I find, maybe just because I like the game better, I find them hilarious, and I've been watching Fall Guy compilations a ton on YouTube. But like, I think it just has to be a certain point where it's like, okay, yes, it could be successful on YouTube, so I'm going to play it on Twitch type of thing. And I actually ran into where the video I came out with this week on YouTube was from my exploring streams. And I think it was a fine video. I don't think it was a bad video. But I definitely think my exploring streams are much more live interaction centered. And they do much better in terms of just like chat interaction and those types of things. So I think that's going to be more just kind of left on Twitch. I'll probably do that once a week or something like that. And then my other content that I do on Twitch will more likely make the YouTube videos. It was a very long response to that, but yeah, those are my thoughts on those.
No, I mean that is a super important thing to take into consideration when you're weighing live content versus 24/7 content. Is like it needs to flow correctly on both platforms if you want to use them in that way.
Right.
And it's better to recognize that early, that it is late, and kind of waste time on producing such content that's not going to perform well on both.
Yeah, and it's funny with and I do want to hear your thoughts on this, but just to kind of finish up that thought, with the exploring streams, it's interesting because the live interaction is great and it makes total sense for Twitch, but that same content where it's like scientific stuff or just more research heavy things, I think could be good content for YouTube videos, but it would have to be heavily kind of produced and edited and scripted out for it to make a good YouTube video versus just me talking live for 3 hours. And I don't really have the time to kind of do that on top of it. So it's not so much necessarily the content in terms of what we're looking at and stuff like that. It's just more how it's done. And the way I do it right now is much better for just Twitch alone. So
yeah, makes sense. I mean, I've seen some of your exploring streams that like you go way deep into something, like a specific topic, and like realistically you need the whole kind of backstory leading up to it, or else like you kind of get lost really quickly if you miss something in the middle.
Right.
So that's where it's like you kind of have to weigh how long the YouTube video is going to be too.
True.
Because like you don't want to just post your whole VOD so that they don't miss anything.
Yeah.
Because you need to make it concise enough to like appeal to YouTube.
Right.
So like, yeah, it's definitely a balancing act for sure to bring something like that to both platforms.
Right.
Me personally is I'm similar to you. I put streaming first. Streaming is what I started doing because I enjoyed it. And I did streaming for a year and a half before ever producing a YouTube video. So like, I feel like I have streaming down. But now it's kind of tweaking to be like, I almost in the back of my head, when I react to something in stream, I'm almost like, is it clip worthy for YouTube? Is it clip worthy for Twitter?
And how do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Because that's almost getting back to what we were talking about, how like sometimes your personality on stream is a little bit played up.
Yeah, totally. And like it's not just the way I react, but it is also like what I say when I react. So like I try not to drop F-bombs because like YouTube doesn't necessarily like that. So I've tried to start choosing my words more carefully.
Yeah, that's hard
because
live.
I've been dropping F-bombs for a year and a half on stream.
Right.
So, and still I have to bleep out words here and there for YouTube videos and stuff. But it's definitely more in the back of my mind now that it's being produced into external content that has a little more constraints that they suggest or want. So it's definitely it's tough. But I've definitely started thinking about both, which can be good and bad, pros and cons, and everything. But I haven't noticed any different interaction in chat because of it, or anybody mentioning like, hey, like you're acting completely different. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe after this podcast comes out, someone will be like, "Oh yeah, I've noticed. Like you're strange. You're not your normal streaming self." But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and I think to the point of what you're saying there, like it's not like you're a completely different person. It's just that you're choose. It's not a not genuine reaction. It's just
Mhm.
you're kind of choosing the words around it, which I think is a lot more forgivable.
Mhm. Yeah. And I mean, if we think back to like 2 years ago, it was Ninja decided to go uh, curse free since he knew that his audience was heavily kid based,
Right.
which like respect to him because that must have been literally the hardest detox
Right.
you can imagine.
Yeah.
But like he totally stuck with it, and that's kind of an example of how you have to kind of tweak your live streaming content to appease to one, your viewers, and the content that you produce outside of live streaming.
Right.
So that's just one way to bring it in from
And
experience.
no one's ever called Ninja a sellout, right?
No, never. Okay, so on this whole producing content live on Twitch for like external YouTube, have you heard of a streamer slash YouTuber by the name of Ludwig?
Uh, is he Minecraft?
No, he
Oh,
he is like mostly like a just chatting and like niche game player.
no.
And literally
I feel like I've heard the
he
name, but I'm not. Yeah.
so he is the number one fastest growing streamer in the last year
Ooh.
based on followers. So like he only started streaming like a year and a half ago, and he is monstrous. Like he grew like 1,040% or something
How?
in a year. His content, he is the type of streamer who strictly gears his content to produce another video for YouTube during the live stream. So the whole live stream is a production, like it's like he's recording a YouTube video but live.
So
And
does he
he is
not
the
interact with chat or anything like that?
so he does in a way, and he does certain bits that involve chat. So he'll do like my chat spent $5,000 for me, where his chat literally donated money to send him an Amazon link, and he had a budget of how much he would spend, and he just bought everything that his stream told him to buy,
Okay.
and then does an unboxing video for it on YouTube. So, but like literally
Interesting.
all his videos are his live stream, but he does his YouTube intro. He's like, all right, today we are doing this, this, and this. And like he does his YouTube video live in front of 40,000, 50,000 people.
And so are there edits when it makes it to YouTube? Or is it
Oh, yeah.
literally. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like
Huh.
he does everything with YouTube in mind.
So, okay. So I understand how that would beget success and you would kind of gain a following, but what is the actual content, right? Because like anybody could just say could follow that model, but the people are there for the actual produced content either on YouTube or Twitch. So you gave so is it kind of like Mr. Beast style type things?
Not always, but it's like he prides himself on not being a lazy streamer. So like he literally starts his video with the whole stream already kind of like roughly planned out.
Oh, okay.
Like I go live and I'm like I'll literally tell my chat, I have no idea what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
We're starting and just chatting right now. Who knows where the night's going to take us?
Right.
I think there's an entertainment factor in that where it's like on the fly
Sure.
kind of thing too. Like you don't want to be too rehearsed
Yeah.
at the same time because that doesn't seem entertaining.
Well,
Unless you're really freaking good at
but
it.
then there's an improv actor and a regular actor. Like,
I know.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But I think everyone should take a look at him because he is blowing up Twitch and YouTube right now
Interesting.
at an insane rate, and I
Gotcha.
thoroughly enjoy his content. And
Ludwig.
Ludwig,
Okay.
Ludwig.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check him out. That's interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about maybe his name's Dream. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's a Minecraft content producer.
No,
Let me look it up real quick. Right on the fly here.
the only Minecraft
Yeah, Dream.
person I know isn't even a streamer. Jack Sucks at Life. That's the only person I know.
Oh, I've heard of Jack Sucks' Life. Yeah, no, this is a different person. So
Okay.
Dream, basically within the past year, went from. Let's see. I'm going to yeah. So his first video was 9 months ago. Okay,
Okay.
7.93 million subscribers on YouTube.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Is
all
this just Minecraft?
all Minecraft content. Dream also streams. The last time I saw Dream stream, which just, I mean, that's fantastic, first of all.
There you go.
Dream had, I think, over 100,000 viewers. Dream was playing Minecraft, and if he took damage, he would get an electrical shock in real life.
Oh my gosh.
But he basically, so that's obviously kind of very clickbaity content right there. But basically, he's found different types of content in Minecraft that was interesting. Like his first video is Minecraft, but instead of raining water, it rains mobs, the monsters in Minecraft. So just kind of like different mods and things around Minecraft, but somehow has found an amazing audience around this content. And I think has just done a fantastic job on social media. I actually saw him for the first time because he was being congratulated by Mr. Beast for basically becoming so huge so quickly. But yeah, that's kind of who I thought you were talking about when you mentioned Ludwig, because this was just the person I saw in passing who gained an incredible audience over very little time. Yeah.
It's so hard to come up with something innovative like nowadays,
And
I feel like.
But I felt like Minecraft content, like there's been people producing videos about Minecraft for decades at this point.
I know.
Like, so it really just goes to show you it's more about maybe all the stuff we were talking about with like what's popular, what you like, all that kind of stuff. There obviously needs to be some sort of audience out there for your content, but I think it's more just about the actual quality and marketing of your content. But fascinating to grow an audience like that in so little time.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I have my first Minecraft video coming out on Thursday, so
Oh, there you go. Maybe you're the next
I hope
stream.
I hope to have 7 million subscribers on YouTube
Well,
within the next week or so.
I hope so too, because we're you can point them all to the Little Kings podcast, and maybe I'll take a few of those.
Always.
Yeah, I think I have to bring this up. I don't want to be just the Fall Guys guy, but this was an event around social media, and like happened today. We were witnesses of it, which was TimTheTatMan, big streamer, got his first win, call it a crown, in Fall Guys. And holy shit, who would have thought the following around Tim getting a crown would be what it was? I mean, the man,
a spectacle.
He had over 300,000 viewers today on Twitch, just watching him try to win this stupid child's game. And like, so spoiler alert, he got the win. I'm sure he's going to have a YouTube video up about it by the time this podcast comes out. So go watch that. He got the win. He gained like 7,000 subs in one day because of this. And like Fall Guys, I feel like rode the wave with it. You know, anybody who was around Tim rode the wave with it. Just absolutely incredible. One of the biggest spectacles on social media around streaming, which I feel like this year has been, there's just been so much. But for some reason, Fall Guys, I mean, it took off. And it was just so fun. Like we both, I think we were actually, weren't we playing Fall Guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were playing
got
Fall
knocked
Guys.
out, and we were like, "All right, let's watch.
Let's just watch Tim. He's on the
the
final round,"
finals.
which had happened many times, and it was on Hexagon, which he sucked at. But he finally got that crown, and it was just a joyous moment. I've never been more happy seeing someone else win at a video game than I was today.
Totally. And just for reference, he made $18,000 based on just subs alone today.
Oh my god.
Just subs.
That's not even talking about donations, which I'm sure there was a ton of those.
Donos,
Or the
ads.
Yeah, the revenue off his videos around this.
Crazy. Crazy.
I mean, easily $100,000 around Fall Guys. Probably more.
Oh yeah, based on all his YouTube content. Yeah,
much more,
easily.
actually. Much more.
Insane.
He can buy that Lamborghini Aventador or whatever he was talking about just off Fall Guys.
Wild.
I mean,
absolutely crazy that someone's at this scale. Honestly.
Yeah, but honestly, congrats to Tim. He seems like a genuinely nice guy, and it's just hilarious to watch him fail. And congratulations, Tim. Way to get that first crown. And you know what? Another huge content producer, also birthday boy, NoMercyMerc, got his first crown today.
Go
right before Tim.
I pride myself on beating Tim.
Yes,
I pride myself.
You beat
and
Tim
I got
by
two
like
wins before Tim.
Yes, that's true. By like what, 2 hours? 1 hour?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Felt great.
Yeah, I remember my first crown. It felt good. Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
Oh, I'm at 16, buddy.
Oh shoot! I didn't know you got 3 more since we last played.
What do you mean?
Shoot.
I got 3 more on stream last night.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So. But yeah. Anyways, enough Fall Guys.
Okay.
I've driven that into the ground, I think. But you know who was playing with Tim today?
Who?
Nadeshot.
Nadeshot. Okay.
Yeah. So,
I don't know too much about Nadeshot. So.
Okay. So Nadeshot, otherwise known as Matt, I think Haig is his last name. He started out in Call of Duty. He was a Call of Duty MLG pro. But he is now the founder and CEO of 100 Thieves.
I did not realize
you didn't know that connection? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So he started 100 Thieves, which we touched on last week. I'm kind of a 100 Thieves fanboy. And I wanted to bring up the whole Hiko situation because we talked about that a little bit last week, how he was kind of dissatisfied with the team. His mom had even tweeted out that she had some major dissatisfaction with the roster for their Valorant team. And big moves were made this week. So there were 4 players besides Hiko on the roster. They were actually not from Overwatch. We need to make a little bit of a correction here. We said it was Overwatch last time. They were PUBG players, apparently.
Oh. Which
to me makes even less sense, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
okay.
All 4 of those players have now been let go from the roster. I guess there were... I think they played in maybe 5 or 6 different tournaments. The first one they played in, they got to... I don't know, maybe semis, something like that. But then the other ones they lost in the qualifying rounds. Hiko seems like a very nice guy and is just, nothing but nice words to say about his teammates. He wasn't going to bash them. But it was clear there's kind of a disconnect there and that they just didn't have the level that Hiko or 100 Thieves wanted in terms of Valorant play. So 4 of them have been let go. Nitro, who was a fellow CS player, Counter-Strike player with Hiko, has now been taken onto the roster. seems like a much better pick, makes a lot more sense. And my understanding now, this is what we thought originally, but my understanding is that Hiko and Nitro will have a lot more say in terms of the other players that they kind of form around them now. So, there was some controversy around that. I think 100 Thieves may have messed up a little bit. Who knows the whole internal situation? But moving forward, I think this makes a lot more sense, and we'll see what happens in the Valorant esports space. I personally just watched the FaZe Clan held a tournament maybe a week or two ago at this point. I didn't watch it live, but I watched a VOD of it, and holy crap, it's entertaining to watch. The level of play for pro Valorant players right now is just insane. And just having any kind of knowledge around the game, it makes you respect these players so much, because it's like you would literally get in a game with one of these people and just have no chance in hell to even move around a corner without getting destroyed. So it's crazy. But yeah, that was kind of big news there. I don't know what your thoughts might be on it. I don't know if you've heard about some of this. I know you're I think into Valorant now more than I am at this point in time. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know, we keep bringing up different YouTubers, but do you know Jake Lucky?
Yeah, the
He
esports
does an
news.
Esports news.
Yeah.
He actually had a phone interview with Hiko's mom.
I
don't know if
I
you
saw
watched
he
this.
was going to have the interview, but I didn't see the actual interview itself.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
Oh yeah,
It was an
I gotta watch
8-minute
it.
phone call where she loves her son so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like she said some of the most heartfelt things, and like invited
that's
Jake
great.
down to like family dinners, and like
Well, she originally like was calling Jake out,
yeah.
which is I think why it spurred this. But that's nice that they kind of, you know,
And they cleared it up, and she was basically saying that, like, honestly, I didn't think you'd have the balls to call me, so I respect you. Like,
she
was
sounds like an awesome person.
she was awesome.
That's
Awesome,
great.
awesome. I'd recommend watching that interview. It was phenomenal.
Okay.
But I don't have any real input on the whole situation. I think it was probably a good call based on their performance. I had hesitations from the beginning, hearing that they weren't like they had no previous experience of like a tactical shooter.
Yeah.
So I have no real input, but I did want to do you have any speculation on who could potentially be joining 100 Thieves? Could you see anybody maybe controversial or big joining the team or anything?
Shroud. No.
I was gonna say, okay.
No.
I
I honestly
have there been any talks, rumors, anything?
I honestly have no idea. I think, I've definitely gotten more into this esports space in the past couple weeks, months, but I'm not super knowledgeable in that space. I think the most famous players that I know of have kind of already signed to different teams. So I don't have any idea. I wonder if 100 Thieves is going to lay down some money bags and try to poach some people off of other teams. Or maybe there's some sleepers out there that still haven't signed that they might pick up. But I really don't know.
Not gonna lie, Ninja's been playing Valorant pretty freaking well lately.
Listen, say what you will about Ninja. I know, he's obviously known as the Fortnite guy, and obviously was not able to extend his gaming skills quite to that level in any other game at this point. But he has been grinding. It's obvious that he likes Valorant a lot, and he's now Immortal 2, maybe Immortal 3, which is like right up there. And from where he was, I think he started out in gold or plat. That's insane, like skill increase, and it's still a relatively young game. So you got to respect that. I mean, he can hang with some of the better players at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not like he got boosted there and carried with like a 4 squad of immortals up to immortal. Like he holds his own,
Oh, for sure.
and it is so impressive to watch.
Yeah.
Like I've enjoyed his Valorant content more than any other content, and I didn't dislike his Fortnite content, even though I never loved Fortnite
Right.
playing it. But he
Right.
definitely made it entertaining because of how good he was. Because
Yeah.
like he broke that record for like 50 something duo wins in a row.
He could.
It was
I
insane.
mean, it was like you'd watch a stream, and it was like he could play around the entire time during a match and still get a dub. Like
Yep.
it didn't make any sense to me. His level of play was just so far and above, especially in pubs. I mean, when he would go to tournaments and things like that, it was definitely a little more serious and a little bit harder for him to win. But even so, I mean, he would win tournaments all the time as well. But yeah, it's amazing to watch. He actually had a sick ace the other day when he was playing with Hiko. I think I sent you the clip of that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's holding his own now. It's really cool to see. I don't think he's pro level yet, but I mean, he could be one day. Like, it seems like he's got the chops for it if he just kind of sticks at it.
Would he though? Because we talked about his whole branding thing of like,
Yeah.
he's more than just a streamer now.
Right.
Like, I don't know if he wants to put that much time and effort into something that's not his brand, his real future.
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit offline too. I think, right, if he wants to focus on growing his brand and those types of things, he definitely would not have enough time to be a pro player. But at the same time, the people at his level, and really he's the top of the top still in terms of money. Like, not in terms of following, definitely. He's dropped off quite a bit in terms of following and viewers and things like that. But in terms of just raw numbers in the bank account, Ninja is the top of the top right now. Since he's at that, really, it's up to him what he wants to do. He might decide one day, and I don't think he will because of his ego, and I think he also enjoys growing the brand. But he could easily decide, okay, I've made enough. I'm going to stop focusing on the Ninja brand and on doing publicity things and that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to grind and I'm going to try to be pro in this. But I think he could do that. I don't see him actually doing that.
I agree with you. Yep. I think he's got more important things in mind.
And I will say I was wrong about
Shroud.
Shroud. We talked about Shroud. I said I thought he was going to go pro with Valorant. But I was dead wrong. He's made it very clear he does not want to go pro in Valorant. He just wants to stream, which is great. But yeah, I was dead wrong about that. So just to clarify for everybody out there, Ryan, NoMercyMerc was right in that for sure.
And my only observation was that the gun in his little gifts wasn't a Valorant gun, and that was my only observation. And I was like, looks like Escape from Tarkov to me. I don't know. Which he's yet to play. He's only played Valorant.
Thank God.
Stream, I'm pretty sure.
I can't stand Escape from Tarkov. That might be a
I've
hot
never
take,
played
but-
it. I've never played it. I can't knock it as a game, but
Right.
to watch, snooze.
Right.
Bore
Which,
fest,
like,
yeah.
there's a ton of people who say Valorant's a bore fest. So if we're saying Tarkov's a bore fest, oh my God, it must be, yeah. So, but you know, at the same time, I don't know if I'd have the same interest in Valorant if I didn't play it.
That's true.
So, you know, we're not maybe giving it a fair shot because we haven't played Tarkov.
Actually, that's funny. That brings up a good point that like my cousin has been watching my streams. He's never played Valorant before.
Yeah.
And he's like, Valorant is so boring. Like, why don't you just run in there and kill people? And I'm like, no. You have to go slow.
Yeah.
Like, you have to walk. There are strats.
Nobody
And then
understands that.
He finally played it, and he was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so the interesting part is the strategy,
Yeah.
not necessarily always the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I was like, you get it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Congratulations.
We had a friend that we played video games with for years and years, but he's much more of a casual gamer, play Valorant with us for the first time. And it's the same thing. At first, he's played like Call of Duty or things like that where you just go and run in. But then I was like, no, you got to think of it much more. It's almost more like a chess game. It's like you got to think of, yeah.
Should we going back to Valorant in the chess?
No, God, no. But
full circle. Okay.
But like, you got to think of, if you're going to peek around a corner, how many angles are there that people could be because they're going to shoot you? It's much less about, well, at the lower levels that we're playing at, it's a lot about just your ability to aim and shoot. But once you get to those higher levels, everybody can aim and shoot. So it's much more, when should you be peeking your head around? When should you be throwing people off and shooting your abilities the wrong way? Like, who should be going up which lanes? It's much more tactical in terms of positioning and things like that. And then the actual gunplay and shooting and killing kind of takes a backseat to that. Of course, that happens, but it's just based around the tactical positioning and plays of the players, which is what made it really interesting to me. But that's also why I'm terrible at it, coming from a Call of Duty background. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I never grew up with like CS or anything, which was much more tactical like that.
Yeah, me either. And my Call of Duty just crashes every 5 minutes, so I never played that either.
I heard they came out with a 250 gigabyte update that might fix that. So.
Oh my God! Thank God.
Yeah.
My PC will be full, and then I can't play it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So we're just over an hour now.
Okay.
It's been a celebration. It's been fun. Is there anything else you kind of like to round things out with, or should we go celebrate your birthday? Go do whatever you want.
I mean, I have nothing else. I have an hour and 20 minutes before I'm 26, so I'm ready to go ahead and party.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. Gotta go open up another White Claw. Oh, do you want to show your invention to the stream?
Oh,
I mean, wait. Have you gotten the patent yet? Don't show it. Don't show it.
Oh, that's...
Wait. It is pending, right?
You're right.
I don't know.
All right, so I haven't gotten the patent yet, but we'll show the concept.
Okay.
I think it's such a novel concept that it'll be clear we have this video out, that if it's taken, it was taken from me. So, okay. But basically, if you're streaming, if you're recording a podcast and you're having a cold one, maybe it's a beer, maybe it's a White Claw, maybe you're underage, maybe you got some water, whatever it is, right? What is the issue? When you're recording, you don't want to have to go to the kitchen for another one. Now, you might say a mini fridge, which I give you is a viable option. Mini fridges are expensive, though. What you got to do is you got to take a second one with you, whatever it is, your drink of choice. You got to put it in a coffee mug, and you got to fill that shit up with some ice.
Oh, my gosh.
And that'll act like a little bit of a cooler for you. When you want that second one, you just pull it out of the ice. Be careful of the water and condensation not going all over your keyboard. And then you got another cold one right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe we'll sell those one day.
What's it going to be called? Ryan's Refreshing Refreshers.
There you go. This episode of the TLK podcast sponsored by Ryan's Refreshing Refreshers. Alrighty, let's go celebrate. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Cool. Cheers.
To 26. Cheers.
To 26.